folks. Hey, future millionaires. Hey, this is Wesley Virgin here. Welcome to another Millionaire Midnight Rant. I'm currently still in Dubai, but I wanted to go live to discuss how to become a high frequency person, okay? As many of you are aware, I flew my team out to Dubai here in the UAE, and we've had a tremendous time thus far. We're moving towards the butt end of the trip, and last night was a movie. We were on a yacht, and we had a great time. And I noticed something. The reason why I want to bring up this topic here, because I want to teach you how to become a high frequency person, because people that have or believe this high frequency, well, they tend to be very successful, more successful than others. And not only that, people tend to gravitate towards them. And I've noticed that over the past couple of years that people gravitate towards me when I have conversations with people. Even last night, had the opportunity to talk to some of the staff on the boat here, and just people eyes light up when I'm speaking to them. And sometimes you think, what makes the difference between the person that it appears that everybody just gravitates to, that is very magnetic and very charismatic here, and while other people, it's not the same ideal there. So I want to teach you something. And listen, this is my power, right? And I don't think I've ever did a video like this before, so please listen up here. Listen, after you become a high-frequency individual, there's almost nothing that you can have. And not just that, you will learn that you'll be able to attract and bring things in your life effortlessly, okay? Almost on autopilot, with ease, without a bunch of work, without a bunch of sacrifice, all the grinding. That's not necessary when you learn how to be a high-frequency individual. Does that make sense? Okay? So my voice is a little hoarse here. So last night, like I said before, it was life-changing. It was amazing. I was screaming high energy, high income. So I apologize if my voice is hoarse. But go ahead and like and share the button. Let's get this up to 10,000 people in the next 24 hours. And many of you do know I'm Wesley Virgin, a young black man from Houston, Texas. I grew up pretty poor, pretty average, but now I've been very fortunate and blessed to become a self-made millionaire worth about $40 million. And I want the same for you, okay? I want the same for you. And I truly believe God put me on this planet to serve my purpose, which is to elevate and educate the lives of people. You, like many women who have not given up, many women who are still in the fight of developing themselves to give the gift to their family of finances, happiness, love, joy, and to really, really live a juicy, surreal life. I'm so grateful every day of my life. Like it's 7 o'clock in the morning here. I'm in Dubai, and I just woke up. I meditated about 3 times, and I was just so filled with gratitude that I get the opportunity to use this power that I've been born with, that I'm just so grateful that just my life right now, it's a movie. It's life-changing to be able to experience life and be able to live life with several options here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Let me know if you're in the building. Go ahead and comment your names below. Let me give you a shout out. Make sure you have something to write with. I'm going to talk about how to become a high frequency person, period. Let's go. Let me know if you can hear me properly. Hey, Mary. Hey, Ryan. How are you? We have Netta King. How are you? Hey, Pam. What's going on? Let's go. Let me see those likes and loves. Go ahead and share this out. Let's spread the energy real quickly here. Okay. Hey, Shira. Yashaki. Funny Loud. We got Blake in the house. Marie, how are you? So write this down. What are vibrational states? First, you need to understand what vibrational states are before you can become a high frequency person. Vibrational states is everything is energy. because energy vibrates. As a matter of fact, if you look at anything under a microscope, you will notice that whatever you think is solid is actually moving, okay? Like atoms and cells. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency, okay? So everything is energy. That's the reason why I can talk to you, you can feel inspired. I can tell you something that you might not like and you can begin to cry, right? Energy is always transferred from human to human on a daily basis. You can hear a song and you can feel in love, right? You can hear some inspirational dialogue from an orator or a motivational speaker and just feel like goosebumps. So listen, write this down. Everything is energy, okay? Now listen up. Certain feelings and moods and events vibrate at different frequencies, okay? And we all actually understand this. There are certain feelings and moods and how you feel and events that take place in our life will have different frequencies. Some frequencies are high and some are low. And I'm going to talk about that later here. So that's the reason why some people fill you with energy. So listen, have you ever met a person, maybe a young black man from Houston, Texas, that when he speaks, it almost seems and feels like he's speaking to the deepest part of your soul? That everything that you hear from this person, it begins to not only inspire you, but it begins to motivate you to move forward, to take action on the activities to lead you to your goal and your dreams, right? I think we've all felt that energy. You know, some people, they can just light up a room. Some people can have a conversation with them for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and all of a sudden you just feel like a new person. It's almost like you heard something that you wanted to hear that made you feel 10 times better about your life. Well, that's what I do. And I do it pretty unconsciously here. And I want to teach you how to do it as well, because now when it's this applicable just with just day-to-day people, this is applicable to sales staff. Like if you're a person that sells, if you're able to give people this type of high frequency energy, you will close sales all the time. This works in relationships with men and with women. Women love men who vibrate on a very high frequency. Kind of get an amen, women, right? Women love a man that vibrates on a high frequency. Women love a man that when he speaks, when he talks, it almost feels that this man knows exactly what to say at the right time to make her feel a certain type of emotion that would just make her body just gravitate towards you, to make her want to be successful, make her happy, make her proud, whatever. Does that make sense? Okay. So, but on the latter, we also have people that drain you. Have you ever met a person that just drains your fucking energy? You know, when they talk, they just drain you, right? And they're either talking about their problems, they're talking about some bullshit that don't even matter. I mean, they just talking about things that vibrate on a very low frequency, right? The drainers in life, the people that don't believe in you, the people that tease you, people that talk about you, the people that talk about their job and how they hate it, the people that talk about other people, the people that gossip and have those small factions with all that drama, right? Those are the drainers in life, okay? Those are the drainers. Everybody knows a drainer, okay? And it's the reason why some people are lucky and some people are unlucky. Like me, I listen, I'm not saying I believe in luck, but I'm a lucky guy. You know, things tend to happen the way I want them to happen. And you may think to yourself, well, why are you lucky and why other people are unlucky? The reason why I'm lucky, it's going to sound silly, is because I just expect it to be that way. I just think of myself as a lucky person. And I didn't need any type of evidence, any type of clues or previous experiences to be a lucky man. And some people, the reason why they're unlucky, because they just feel unlucky. Oh, I'm just unlucky when it comes to this. I'm unlucky when it comes to this. Well, we don't realize that what we say is very powerful, okay? Like what you say at your mouth It's so powerful, almost more powerful than what you do. Okay? Because what you do is the determination of what you say. If you say you're unlucky, then dollars to donuts that you're going to not perform that task. Because if you believe that you're an unlucky person, then you're not going to believe that that task or that experience or whatever you're trying to do, even an opportunity, is not going to work in your favor. Does that make sense? Okay? So when you vibrate at a low frequency, that's what you attract. That's why it's so important to vibrate on a high frequency, okay? And I think we all understand this. Vibration is equivalent to feeling. Like, as a matter of fact, stop for a second. How do you feel right now in this moment? Just by listening to my voice, you're looking at a dark screen. Maybe you're on my podcast right now. But how do you feel right now in this moment as you're listening to my voice? I want you to comment one word that ascribes or describes your emotion. Go ahead. Go ahead. One word that describes your emotion, your feeling right now. Okay, do it. Do it for me, please. Someone say, great. I feel relaxed. I feel fabulous. Okay. I feel good. 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 Okay. Okay. Blessed, grateful. So I want you to notice something. See, how you feel is equivalent to how you vibrate. When people ask me, well, how do I vibrate higher? Well, if you're blessed, is that a high or a low vibration? If you feel good, if you feel great, is that a high or a low vibration? Right? It's obvious. These are high vibrations. When we feel blessed, we tend to perceive life in a positive light. When we feel great, we tend to have a smile on our face, and we tend to expect that things are going to happen the way that we would like them to. Does that make sense? Now listen, I want you to write down these two words. These two words are very important to you becoming a high frequency person. Write this down. Scarcity and abundance. Okay? Scarcity and abundance. Okay. Now, when you think about scarcity, what do you think about? Be honest. Comment below. Scarcity is low vibration thinking about what you don't have. You know what the big issue as it relates to the word desire? People might say, I desire riches. I desire more money. I desire a woman. I desire a wife. I desire a husband. I desire to be healthy. I desire to read more. I desire to work on my career. I desire whatever. But the issue with that is most people that desire things, they're feeling the lack of things. And to be very honest with you, the only reason why we desire things is because we don't have things. So it comes from this thinking of I don't have something. And that's a scarcity mindset. And unfortunately, even in the book Think and Grow Rich, it doesn't properly explain the word burning desire. Because when people have a burning desire for something, they're constantly thinking about the lack of the thing, the lack of the money, the lack of love, the lack of being consistent, the lack of motivation. You get it? And this is what people say, well, I just wish I was just more consistent. I wish I was more disciplined. I wish I had more money. Yeah, it's because you're thinking, even though you have a desire for something, but the feeling, you're feeling lack. You're feeling that you don't have it. Okay? Now, abundance, what do you think abundance is? What is the first word you think about when you hear the word abundance? Abundance is believing you have everything already. And see, this is not taught in the books properly, in the self-help books, by the way. They don't teach you. They teach you how to have a desire. They teach you got to be positive. You got to say affirmations. You got to say what you want. But they never really explain to you what abundance means. See, right now, listen, this is good. right now in your life, regardless of the money you have or don't have, regardless of the relationships you have or don't have, regardless if you don't have the health of the body that you want to have, regardless of the car that you drive and the job that you have. Abundance means that even where you are right now in your life, you have everything right now. Does that make sense? Okay? You have can you guys hear me properly? Just want to make sure. Let me say it again. Now you got to get this. I want you to make the distinction that where you are right now, in this moment, listening to my voice, however you define or perceive your life, you must believe that you have everything. When I say everything, all your desires, I want a car, I want millions of dollars. You have to believe that you have it. Now, you may think to yourself, well, Wesley, but I don't have it. I don't have the car. I can't travel the world. I still have a job. I don't have the money in my bank account. But listen, now this is going to be a tough one. That's just your perception. You may say, no, Wesley, that is not my perception. That is not my opinion. You want to check my bank account and there's nothing in it. Listen, it is still your perception. The great thing about the mind is it can perceive or have an opinion about anything, even though it's not real. You may have $10 in your bank account, but you can say, you know what, I got $1 million in my bank account. Now, maybe that's not the reality, but your mind, listen, your brain doesn't know that you only have $10. It doesn't really understand. Your brain and your mind only knows what you tell it. That's why when I go live, you may see 81 people, but I see 81 million people. But you might say, well, no, Wes, it's 81 people that's watching this live right now. And I'm saying, no, you're incorrect, sir. You're incorrect, ma'am. There's 81 million people that are watching this video right now. Now, it doesn't matter what you see with your eyes. You may say, well, I see 81. But the eye that I'm using is the spiritual eye, because the spiritual eye is the eye that's in my mind, which is called my imagination. So even though you see 81, I see 81 million. So in your bank account, maybe it's $10, but you got to be able to see $10,000. In your business, you might not see people coming into your store, coming into your company, right? Customers. But you got to see that customers are coming in every single day. Does that make sense? Even if you have a day that no one signs up, you have to say, hey, people are coming in. People are buying my product every single day. I see the people. Does that make sense? And if you continue to tell you, see, this is the state of abundance. People that understand abundance understand they already have what they say that they want. How? Because they feel like it. See, the distinction is, listen up, the distinction is how you feel more than what is actually in the physical realm. Maybe you want a brand new car. You don't have it, right? But the brand new car that you want already exists for once, and you can feel like you already have it. You can close your eyes and start to use your imagination and believe you have it. You know why we know this as true? Children, when you were a child, didn't you play cops and robbers? Women, when you were a child, a little girl, didn't you have a tea party with your father or a tea party with your girls? But did you have any tea in that little cup? No. There was nothing in that little cup. But you were drinking it as if it was. You had your little dress on. You had your little table. You had your little teapot that didn't have any tea in it. But in that child's imagination, he or she believed that she was drinking tea. When the boys would play cops and robbers, even though they didn't have guns, they had sticks. But they running around say, freeze, get on the ground, I'm going to shoot you, right? They didn't have a gun in their hand. But in their imagination, they had a gun. They would say, pow, pow, pow. They were shooting the gun, even though it was a stick. Does that make sense? That's the power of abundance. And unfortunately, as we get older, because this is not reinforced, like your imagination, creativity, and abundance, we tend to live in our perceived reality. Which means is, even though we still have an imagination, we say, well, no, but in reality, I don't have anything. In reality, life is hard. In reality, I just had a divorce. My life sucks. In reality, I'm in debt. In reality, I'm in credit card debt. In reality, nothing is working out for me. I got lies and cheaters. In reality, I'm fat. I'm overweight. In reality, I have anxiety. I have stress. I'm pissed off. I'm angry. In reality, I have addictions. I drink too much. I smoke too much. Does that make sense? Okay. Many of you are very familiar with your reality, and your reality is scarcity. Most people's reality is a reality of scarcity, but I want to invite you to have a reality of abundance. So imagine if you knew in 1 month. Listen, I'm gonna play a game with you. Hey, listen up. Listen. Imagine if you knew in 1 month that you will be receiving $1 million. Imagine that. In 1 month. Like, say if I told you today. Today is, what is today? January the 23rd. Imagine on February the 23rd, Wesley Virgin was going to write you a check for $1 million. All because you liked and shared the rant. I said, if you like and share this rant on a daily basis, you're going to have $1 million in your bank account. How would you feel? Be honest. Like, how would you feel about that? If you knew that you were going to get $1 million, how would your emotions and behavior change? See, this is how, I want you to notice what's happening. You're using your imagination, big head. Because you're imagining Wesley writing a check for $1 million. You're imagining taking this money, putting it into your bank account, going to the mall, paying off your debt, paying off your credit cards, finding you a new place, right? That's called your imagination. And listen, this is how the abundant minds work. People that have an abundant mindset, this is how they operate, okay? They just imagine, like if the business is not working, they just imagine that the business is working. If the relationships are not working, they just imagine that the relationships are working. If they have an illness, they have a sickness, they just imagine that they're healed. Are you with me here? This is the true secret, in my opinion, to all success in life, in every area of life. Okay? Are you guys with me here? Okay? Now, let's get to the misfortunes. How many of you have ever had a misfortune, a failure, or just something that didn't go well? You know, something that you've been praying about, something that you really wanted to happen, and it didn't happen, right? Something that you were betting on. Something that you worked for, hours and days and months and years. I know I've been there. I mean, it's been several times that I've worked in a company, I worked for a company, I worked on an opportunity for several months to find out that the company or the business partner did not want to proceed with the opportunity. Write this down. This is going to be a game changer for you. I'm going to give it to you for free because I love you. Listen. All misfortunes are blessings in disguise. Comment those words below. Listen. Open your ears for a second. All misfortunes are blessings in disguise. Now imagine if you utilize that phrase whenever you were dealt a bad set of cards in life. Whenever you were dealing with adversity or troubles or, setbacks, imagine if you believe that all misfortunes are blessings in disguise. That means, well, okay, are you saying, Wes, that if I lose money, in actuality, there's a blessing in disguise of me losing that money? Yes. Wesley, are you saying that if I have a no sales day, that's a blessing in disguise? Yes. Are you saying, Wesley, if I give my all for several months and I don't see any type of progress, are you telling me, Mr. Virgin, that's a blessing in disguise? Yes. Mr. Virgin, are you saying if I have a divorce or I have a baby daddy that don't act right? I got children. I got responsibilities. I got all these issues. Are you saying that still that's a blessing in disguise? Yes. Yes. I've had several blessings, misfortunes that were blessings in disguise. That's the reason why I'm rich today, honestly. You can listen to my podcast. I shared many stories on how I had great misfortunes in life. And all those misfortunes led to blessings because I expected them to. Because you might say, well, Wesley, how is that a blessing? How is it a blessing if I lose my job? How is it a blessing if I've been working in my company for years and I'm still not profitable? How's it a blessing? Write this down. How's it a blessing if I'm sick right now? Ill. Listen. The blessing is there if you're looking for it. Let me say that one more time. The blessing is always there if you're looking for it. Many of you are not looking for the blessing. You know, you have some chaotic event that takes place in your life and you just start to bitch and complain. You start to vibrate on a very low vibration, right? Why is this happening? I can't believe they did this. What's going on? I don't understand. Why? Why do we have to change? This is too hard. Nobody wants to give us money. No one has money. My team says that sometimes we'll have to correct them. Listen, when you're looking for the blessing, you will find the blessing. If you're looking for the chaos, you will find the chaos. If you're looking for the problem, you're going to find the problem. You get it? See, Mr. Virgin, the reason why I vibrate on a very high frequency because I'm always looking for the blessing, not just in myself and other people. When people start to share their horrific story with me, I just find a blessing for them. When people tell me that, oh, it's hard, I don't know what I'm going to do, blah, 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 I find a blessing for them. That's my gift. I'm able to find the blessings in people's misfortunes. Let me get an amen to that one. So imagine if you were able to see the blessings in your misfortunes. Think about that for a second. How would your life be? Okay. How would your life be? Okay. Listen, I want you to write something. This is Wesley's plan. Listen, stop viewing the unexpected as negativity. You know, when things happen unexpectedly, don't say, oh, that's negative, man. I didn't think this was going to happen. Remember something. You're one step away from a new perspective. You see how the thinking has to change? See, whenever something unexpected takes place in your life, you have to tell yourself that I'm one step away from a new perspective. You have to tell yourself one day, I will be thankful that life didn't go to the plan. Okay? Does that make sense? Are you with me here? This is so imperative here. Now listen, the next question is, how does the majority react to information? How do you think the masses react to information on the planet? Listen, negative thinking, unfortunately, is a habit of common people. And I would advise you not to be a common person. How many of you repudiate the fact to be a common person? You know what a common person is? Common people, they tend to not only live in negativity, they're familiar with it. They're like so familiar with negative events and issues. If I say, hey, well, how's it going? I mean, you might say, it's going pretty good. I say, man, tell me, listen, look at me. How's it really going? If I ask that question, you're going to tell me everything that's wrong. Because we're like, it's a habit, by the way. It's not like because we want to be this way. Like, it's a habit. It's just habitual, folks. Don't think that people just want to be negative. They're negative because that's who the people they're around. If you have people around you that invalidates negativity all the time, that's always talking about, well, the government, Donald Trump, the money, the politics, the economical, everybody's losing their jobs, businesses are failing, times are hard. I mean, if that's your inner circle, then obviously you're going to have negative thinking. And it's going to be a habit. It's going to be very unconscious. Does that make sense? This is why in previous rants, I speak about how you have to isolate yourself from your current environment. It's important. In my opinion, that is one of the most imperative ingredients to success. Changing your environment. You know why I took my team out here? Yeah, I want to bless them. I want them to have fun. But I wanted them to see opulence on another level. I wanted them to understand that at the same time that people are living their common normal lives, people are living extraordinary lives. So I got the yacht, I paid like $40,000 for everything, right? DJ, food. The food was amazing. The yacht was insane. Oh my God, it had bedrooms in there. You know, my team got the opportunity to put their things in the bedrooms. They can sleep and take a nap. They were dancing on the deck. They was meeting all these people. You know, it was a great scenery, dancing, drinking a little bit. They experienced opulence. So now, because see, it's one thing to tell your people if you're in a leadership role that they can be successful. You could do it. You can make millions of dollars. But it's another level if you show them and allow them to experience it. Does that make sense? Right now, all my team right now currently, they're all staying in the Burj Al Arab hotel right now. This is the only 7-star hotel on the planet. Yeah, I could have put them in cheaper hotels. And I could have just put myself here. I said, no. I love them. I care about them. And I want them to, like, they will win financially. They will make 6-7 figures this year because of this experience. I want them to feel how it feels to have a butler, how it feels to have somebody to take care of you hand and foot, unpack your luggage. I want them to see how it feels to put themselves in a beautiful suite and have a beautiful view every single morning looking at Dubai. I want them to experience this opulence and this wealth here at this hotel. This hotel is insane. You have people every single day that are tourists that come outside the gate that are taking pictures, hundreds of people every day, and they get the opportunity to stay here. I gave them the experience that when they landed here in Dubai, I had a car. First, I had a VIP immigration person to pick them up in a cart so they don't have to walk to the immigration gates. Because if you've ever been to Dubai, Dubai airport is huge. So I had a VIP immigration person pick them up and drive them to immigration and fast track them through. And once they got outside, they had a car waiting on them to take them to their hotel. See, I wanted them to experience that because I want them to become that. I want them to become and feel that it's normal. When they feel that it's normal, then when it's time for them to produce or do what they do, they're going to have this new confidence. They're going to have this new high frequency, this new charisma when they talk to people, when they're selling people, when they're offering opportunities to other folks. Does that make sense? Because they're not just talking about it, they have experienced it. Does that make sense, folks? Okay? So that's the reason why my team is out here in Dubai, of course. Every year we're going to travel to all types of exotic locations because I have to show them that, one, that it's possible, two, that they're worthy of it. And 3, they can deserve it. They can have it if they want it. I want them to have the feeling, look, stay with me. I want my team to have the feeling in advance. I want them to feel as if they're a millionaire by giving and providing $1 million lifestyle to them now. Yeah, I spent about $300,000 on this trip, but I invested into them because if they do well, I do well too. You get it? We all win. It's important for me as a CEO of this company is to allow my people to feel and to vibrate on a high frequency now, not when they get money, not when everything go well in their life, not when everything go well in their business. No, I need them to feel like that now. They need to feel that they belong. They need to feel that they're worthy. And that's the same thing I want for you. We're going to give so many people, like this year, it's going to be incredible because we're going to give so many people like yourself opportunities to invest with us, to work with us, put you through a program to get you to 6 to 7 figures in 1 year. By the end of this year, I'm going to have over maybe 100 people from around the world, from these rants, who are going to invest with me, who's going to believe in me and what I do and what I have done for other people who are average just like you. And I'm going to change their lives. And we're going to travel around the world. We're going to have another all-white party. It's going to be a bigger yacht. It's going to be more people. And we're going to do this every single year. Does that make sense? Are you with me here? Just watch. This year is going to be a life changer for you, for people. Not for me. My life has already changed. It's going to change for you. I'm going to show people mechanistically how to change their finances, how to change their thinking, change their beliefs. Does that make sense? Even people only hit on this rant right now. You know what's incredible? That almost everybody that's a part of my team, very specifically that was on that yacht that's out here in Dubai, they all came from Instagram, most of them. They all came from a video that they watched on the internet from me. All came from a video. I've had people, when they first started with me, they was making under $2,000 per month. Now they're making $20,000, $30,000 a month. Out here partying with Wesley Virgin. Shh. Had a young lady from Bahamas, poor country. 52 years old. Now she's partying with me in Dubai. A young lady from Houston, Texas. Just, normal, average lady that was listening to my rants, persevered, invested with us, and now she's in Dubai with us, doing very well. She'll do 6 figures this year. Black woman. Come on. I mean, you can't tell. Folks, got a young real estate guy from Houston, Texas. Met the guy in the gym one day. Obviously, he said, man, I want to be on your team. I want to be. For years, he wanted to be on my team. Now he's on my team. Party with me in Dubai right now. Came from Instagram years ago. I want you all to understand that all of you can have a high frequency mindset. All of you can be high frequency people. Write this down. Don't express your dissatisfaction. Okay? Don't express your satisfaction. Write this down. Ignore bad news. Cherish good news. This will bring you into a positive state. This can put you on the plane of your new life. A positive attitude, folks, always, siempre for my españols, leads to success and creation. Not more money, not mentorship, not much watching motivational videos, and not reading self-help books. A positive attitude always leads to success and creation. So if you don't know what to do, just be positive for right now until you figure it out. Always have a smile. I met a young lady last night on the yacht. She's like 29 years old, very young lady, gorgeous. You know, she's like Lebanese. And one thing about Dubai, they got some gorgeous people out here. She's like Lebanese and American, right? American white. And when we're talking about what she's doing, she's the head of business development for the company that was chartering in the yacht. And I had a long conversation with her. I was so proud of her. And one thing I loved about her was her positive attitude. She had a smile on her face. She can articulate herself very well. She was showing me the new Lamborghini yacht. She was very excited about what she was getting ready to do for the company. But she was very positive. She had a smile on her face the entire time. She was excited. Her eyes were dilated, were open. Does that make sense? You don't have to be rich to be positive. You don't have to be rich to have a conversation with another rich person. Honestly, you just got to be positive. You know, people say, well, how do I get in the door? Be positive. Learn not to be negative. Learn not to say things that are bad news. Cherish good news. Talk about good news. Does that make sense? Bad news will always exist. Okay? Bad news will always exist. Good news as well. Talk about the good news, folks. So listen, write this down. I want to teach you how to prime yourself every single morning. And this is how I do it. Right now it's 7:43. I'm getting ready to let you guys go. But this is how Wesley $1 billion Virgin. This is how I will do $100 million this year. Okay? Just going to let you know. This is how I'm going to have the PJ, the private jet, the G650. You'll see. How to prime yourself every morning. Write this down. First thing I do is gratitude. I just wake up and say, I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my wealth. I'm grateful for my team. I'm grateful for my companies. I'm grateful for my investments. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my sound mind. I'm grateful for my confidence. I'm grateful for my parents, my brother, my niece, my sister-in-law. I just go down the list of the things that I'm grateful for every morning, 5 minutes. And then after that, I meditate. I may meditate 1 time or 3 times or 4 times in the morning. And when I'm meditating, I'm just creating my day. I'm just focusing on my goals. I'm thinking about the goals. I'm imagining as if the goals are happening. So I'm imagining $1 million per day coming into my bank account. I imagine myself putting my parents in a beautiful, home in a state somewhere in Houston, Texas. I imagine buying the PJ and boarding the private jet and flying me to different locations and talking and speaking to very wealthy people and big crowds of people on a weekly basis. Does that make sense? See myself buying me a beautiful house in Cypress, Texas, $10 million and raising and creating a family. Okay? And then I exercise. I work out 1 to 2 hours. On vacation, I don't work out, but actually on this vacation, I worked out twice. I did some treadmill, right? I did a little chest, did a little back. I did something, did some shoulders. But I have to exercise every single day. This raises your vibration, by the way. This raises your frequency, by the way. And then action. Clarity comes after, not before action. It comes after, not before action. Which means you got to take action. You got to do something towards the achievement of your goals. And positive information is just listening to stuff like this. Listening to information that's positive, things that make you feel good, things that inspire you, things that change your perspective, things that change how you used to look at your life, the world, or your thoughts. Okay, we call it self-development audio. You need to listen to this stuff every day, every morning. Even I do it, and I'm worth a lot of money here. I listen to self-development every single morning. Okay, somebody that's feeding me something that's positive. Always. Why? Because I want those type of thoughts to be very unconscious for me. So I don't have to try to perform. I perform at a high level with everything that I do. Okay? And then you must have the luckiest man mentality. You know, the luckiest man mentality is just believing that you're a lucky person. Like you're a lucky woman. How many of you believe that you're a lucky person? How many of you believe right now that you're a lucky man or a lucky woman? Just say it. Like you're lucky. Just say that you're a lucky person. You got to believe that you're the luckiest person in the world. Like I'm the luckiest man on the planet right now. Everything works perfectly for me. I want you just to believe it. And you believe it just by saying it. Just say, I'm lucky. Comment below. Say, I'm the luckiest man on the planet. I'm the luckiest woman on the planet. Everything works out for me all the time. It just does. And you have to continue to say that over and over and over and over and over again. You got to continue to think that. Because one day you're going to feel that. Does that make sense? Okay? I'm lucky. Listen, I love you folks. Thank you for joining me tonight or this morning. I want you to have a phenomenal evening, morning or afternoon. I want you to know that in life, you don't get what you want, you get what you picture. As you begin to like this video and share it out for me, I want you to understand that in life, you don't get what you want. In life, you get what you picture, which means it's not about what you want, it's about what you can picture. Practice and master the picture that you have in your mind. It may take months, it may take years for you to do this, but it's okay. Because once you're able to switch out the picture is the life that you want to live, what you want to experience. Who do you want to marry? Who do you want to be around? How much money you want to make? What do you want to travel? What cars do you want to buy? How many cars do you want to buy? What do you want to live? How many different properties you want to have around the planet? Does that make sense? Once you change the picture, you change your life. I love you. This is Wesley, $1 Billion Virgin. Much love. And let's go.